The views expressed on the following program do not necessarily represent those of this station or its management.
It's time now for Where You Live with Gene Sullivan, the show that deals with the news and events that affect you the most. Whether you rent or own, live in an HOA, single-family home, or an apartment building, Gene will tackle the issues right where you live. So, from the True North Painting Studios, here's the original man of steel, Resolve himself, who stands for truth, justice, and the association way. Here's Gene Sullivan.
Good morning. Welcome to Where You Live. I am Gene Sullivan, and I'm broadcasting from the True North Painting Studios. When you're looking for the right painting contractor, what do you look for? Isn't it someone who will respect you, your time, your property, and your budget? That's what you can expect from True North Painting. Find out more about this exceptional company by going online at truenorthpainting.com. That's trunorthpainting.com, or give them a call at 952-831-1433. I'm also brought to you by the great folks at Extreme Exteriors and American Family Insurance, the Kim Bennett Agency. I'd like to say welcome. Thanks for taking some time out of your weekend to be with me today for the show. I also want to give a shout out to Christopher Wyderp Huberty. Hi, Chris.
How are you today, Gene?
I'm really good.
Good.
Say, you've been married, you said just under 6 months now. Is that correct?
That's right.
Okay. Now, have you had the opportunity of having had where you've blown it with your wife when it comes to communication?
Oh, yes.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Anything you'd like to share or not?
I think there was once I was out of town, or going to be out of town a couple weekends ago, and didn't really tell her till like the day before. And it was kind of a big trip. And she was like, "Oh, really? When was that going to come up?"
Yeah,
right now.
Right right now. Yes, I have in the years that I've been married, I have been known a couple of times to disappoint the lovely Mrs. Sullivan. And one thing that comes to my mind, and I'm glad we can laugh about it now because it ended up with a good result. But back in 2005, that's when my father passed away, and we were taking care of his estate, and we were wrapping everything up. There was one item that nobody in the family had stated that they wanted. It was very nice. It was the dining room or kitchen table and chairs that we had that we used growing up. And this was a marble top with wrought iron, frame that it was sitting on. And nobody in the family wanted it. I thought we were to take it. I truly did. I thought we were to take it over to Goodwill and get rid of it that way. But no, the lovely Mrs. Sullivan said she wanted that table for her desk in her office. And so I had taken it, packed it up in a truck, took it to Goodwill. This was on a Friday. And so at the end of the day, I am calling my wife, telling her what happened that day, what I did. And I said, oh, yes, well, I ended up getting rid of the table just like you wanted. And she said, what? You did what?
Uh-oh.
And then I realized, no, we had what we call a failure to communicate, or I did on my part. I had a misunderstanding. So now I'm going through the machinations to try and get this table back. And so I go to Goodwill the very next day. There it was already on the floor for sale. And so I talked to someone at Goodwill. Hey, I'm sorry. Can I get it back? Well, no, once you've given it. And so I said, well, I want to buy it back. That's no problem. However, when I went to pick it up the next day on Sunday when I got a truck again, I found out that someone else had already bought it and had taken it out of the store. No one had put it as sold. So now I'm going through all of this to try and find who has this table, right? And so I end up getting the name of the person who had the table. And, of course, now that they understand what happened, they said, sure, I'll sell the table to you, but at a 30% markup from what Goodwill was charging. And so I learned a valuable lesson through that set of errors on my part, and that is the value of something increases immensely when you realize that there's a greater desire for that. And I say that and I share that story, one, because I know my wife's forgiven me from that, and we do have the table back, but also because it also deals with a point that we're going to find out in property management in the news today. There's a study that came out that was valuing condominiums and homeowner associations in the United States, and how do they fare versus single-family homes? Well, we'll find out in just a moment in property management in the news. Property management in the news is brought to you by Home Furniture and Abbey Floor Coverings. Their showrooms are staffed with professionals who will help you choose what you need to fit both your lifestyle and budget. Whatever you need, chances are they'll have what you're looking for. If you wish to avail yourself of special pricing you won't find anywhere else, all Where You Live listeners can call Customer Service Coordinator Lori Matson at 952-224-2663. So the question I posed here at the beginning of the show concerning the value, what is the value of condominiums? How do they fare versus a single-family home in the United States? Well, we have a report that has come out from Standard & Poor's. And, of course, if you know Standard & Poor's, they are the trusted standard when it comes to looking at how we are financially as a government, how we are in our industries. And they have two gentlemen by the name of Case and Schiller, and they have the Case-Shiller Index. And these are two professors who are well-known economists, and they have a number of indices that they take a look at to try and come up with the value of real estate and come out with their findings each and every year. One of the things that is real fascinating from their recent study is they said home price growth in the United States over the last 12 months has climbed on the average of about 12.8%. Now, of course, that's going to be a lot higher in some areas and less than others. For example, when you have homes in the area of Chicago, I think that is going to be around 8% this year versus Los Angeles, where the price of homes have gone up over 20-some percent. And so that's going to vary. But overall, in the United States, Case and Schiller, in their Case and Schiller Index, said that home prices have gone up, risen almost 13%, 12.8% across the board. However, there's one thing that they saw that was different than they have in the past, and this was a very interesting statistic, and that is that the price in the growth of condominiums and co-ops outpaced the growth of single-family residences. And this was a major shift in the housing market. They said that they have not seen this before, and it causes you to ask the question, you do have to ask the question, why? Why would it be that condominiums, homeowners and homeowner associations, homes in these types of settings outpaced single-family homes. And it was by quite a bit here, too. If we take a look at, for example, the city of Los Angeles, where single-family homes grew this last 12 months at a 22% increase over last year. Homeowner associations, that's 27%. In San Francisco, where you have home values that increased over 25%, it's over 27.5% for homeowner associations. In New York City, where single-family homes increased at 3%, that amount for homeowner associations, about 6%. And so in just about 20 of the largest cities around the country, Case and Schiller was looking at the price of homes and how things were increasing, and they noticed this difference. Well, let's talk about that, shall we? What is it that causes homes in a homeowner association to outpace that of single-family homes in values? I've got a couple of reasons I'd like to share with you, but let's take a break right now. Don't go away. We've got a lot more of Where You Live after these messages.